Hi everyone, my name is Kristen and welcome back to my YouTube channel, UXUI Advocate. And this is going to be the video covering week 20 and week 21 content of my UX Bootcamp / certificate program. So welcome back. Okay, so I don't believe that I have anything to show homework-wise for this week, but I will talk about like Bootstrap. We talked about that in week 20. I have my little trusty sticky note here. We also talked about like open source tools that help developers develop applications and websites, as well as like different breakpoints and how that looks when it comes to the viewpoint of a device that we're designing for, that we're going to show content on. And then finally, kind of front-end development handoff, and making sure that our designs and the different elements that we're going to use are downloaded and organized in an appropriate manner so that when handoff does occur, it's easier on our front-end developers, I guess back end too, but our developers to actually develop the designs that were created. So I think we are going to get started on that. Oh, and then finally analytics when it comes to KPIs. And all the kind of like data analysis related stuff, super brief. Okay, so first off, Bootstrap. Bootstrap, I'm going to read my notes here. I have like this big booklet of notes and it has sticky notes and it's highlighted and everything, but it's just been the best way for me to learn. So Bootstrap is a way for front-end developers to design websites, applications in a faster way. It's like a collection, it's an open source collection of different tools that, like code, that can be used when a developer is developing an interface, user interface. It's a framework, so it says it's a code base written to simplify common issues in programming languages. And then the way that it's been described to me, it kind of speeds up and simplifies, or it smooths out the process when it comes to developing applications and websites. We talked about that. We used Bootstrap a little bit in class. We talked about the importance of the fact that it helps when it comes to kind of like that responsive web design, increasing the responsiveness for users. We've talked about like containers and rows and columns, and once again, the responsiveness of being able to have different elements kind of shrink and expand depending on the viewpoint of the device. And then with that, we also talked about like the classes and the screen types and then the sizes. So it goes from like extra small up to extra large, and then there's like another size which is just auto responsive. And it's important to understand like what your breakpoints are and how your elements are going to look depending on the breakpoint that is set. We talked about that and a little bit more about Bootstrap, but it's really just being able to understand how the importance of having a responsive design. Week 21 really centered around being able to have a design system and like adequate methods when it comes to handing off designs to web developers or to application developers. So it's important that like your files are clean. If you're using Figma, make sure that your Figma files are clean, they're easy to read. They allow the developer to go in and do their job in an efficient manner as well. Since you are a team, it's important to have like a smooth handoff. I will say that is really interesting because there's an intersection between this kind of UX realm and the social work realm, because handoff is equally important in both industries. So for example, if like I was providing therapy at one point, and when I was providing therapy and writing case notes, it was really important that when I did hand off a case and my case notes to another clinician or a physician, a psychiatrist, I made sure that there was a really direct and clean handoff so that the services and the things that were associated with that particular client were understood by the following clinician. So in a sense, it's similar in the fact that within the UX realm, You have to make sure that your files are clean and neat and organized and provide a way for the developer to get their job done as well. So it's just the importance of week 21 focused on being able to develop rapport with your developers, asking questions from the beginning of your design process, not the very end, because it helps both you and the developers when it comes to designing and the layout of the UI. And they'll tell you if things aren't quite possible or if maybe something else might work better, depending on like the different stages of the development of your product or just the product's life cycle period. Week 29 really just focused on being able to, have like good relationships with the individuals that are coding all of the content that you're designing and that you put a lot of research into developing. And then finally, week 21 talked about KPIs, so key performance indicators, and OKRs. Yeah, got it right. Objective and key results, which I've been told that they're really similar, but I've never really heard anyone talk about OKRs. I've heard of KPIs a lot more. But really just being able to measure success using KPIs. And when we had this discussion, it really went into more detail about measuring KPIs in relation to our portfolio websites, tracking the traffic that goes and looks at our site, being able to track how often a person looks at our site, if we have return viewers, if we how long a particular individual or how long viewers are staying on our site, what are the kind of touch points or the hot points, or what parts of the site are they staying on more often than others. We kind of talked about being able to analyze the data that we receive and being able to measure success using KPIs, having objectives and goals that we set for ourselves, and really just the importance of maintaining those objectives and being sure that we kind of just have our eye on the prize when it comes to objectives. So, excuse me, that was the analytics KPI portion of week 21. We see my trusty sticky note here. And I think that is everything for week 20 and week 21. They were pretty brief, only because we started working on our final group projects right around the midpoint of week 21. So we were focusing on KPIs and clean handoff and objectives and goals, but we were also multitasking with our final group project. So I think that pretty much everyone was focused on trying to establish groups and establish kind of research plans and everything that goes into the design process for our final projects, rather than talking about KPIs. And I probably should make a YouTube video over my portfolio, since it definitely has changed from the last time I showed my portfolio here on YouTube. So I probably will do that for this upcoming video, for the video that's going to come after week 20 and 21. So I'm going to end it there. Just like always, I appreciate all of the time and energy that you spend on watching my videos. If you've made it to the very end, thank you so much for dedicating your time. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, please let me know down below. I don't know if I'll be able to answer them, but I could probably find the right answer given some time. But with that, I appreciate the time and energy. So thanks so much, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.